Hi guys, this is Mateusz Myślicki, MiM's on Mtgo, and today we are gonna be recording the weekly daily for Standard. And all this daily is gonna be about one card that was printed recently, and I must say I underestimated it a bit. It's gonna be about Voice of Resurgence. Lately there was a Magic Online Championship qualifier in block, and I was amazed with Voice of Resurgence. The card is insane. If you like aggressive strategies, it does everything to you. It's basically a 2/2 Grizzly Bear for green and white, which says two things. Whenever an opponent casts a spell in your turn, you put a green and white elemental creature token on the battlefield that's power and toughness are equal to the number of creatures you control. And this is already insane because aggressive decks, the green-white based decks have problems with decks like blue-white red flash that just like mess the combat completely. This card completely blanks Azorius Charm, for example. They can only basically cycle it on their turn, which makes it a very bad thing twice. They can't flash in the Angel really. They can't flash in a Snapcaster and like flashback on Azorius Charm because you're just gonna get two huge elementals. So this does a lot for you basically, but it also has a second ability. It puts that elemental into play even when the Voice of Resurgence just dies, which makes it an awesome defensive card as well. The opponent needs to cast removal on their spell on their turn to kill it, but also you're gonna get an elemental then. So yeah, that's about it. And the first tries to fit it into a deck I made were two green-white tokens. But then I also started playing Melira in Modern, and I was amazed by how good this card is with the sack outlets. You won't always be playing against an opponent who wants to kill it, so you sometimes are gonna just have a 2/2, which is pretty bad against like junk decks that just want to ignore your board and go bigger. So you want to be able to sacrifice it if possible. That's why there's black in this deck. So we have 7 sack outlets. We've got Carter, Aristocrat, and Varolz to sacrifice Voice of Resurgence. And if you, for example, if you lead with a 1-drop, you got a Doom Traveler, then you play a Voice of Resurgence. Then you, let's say, play a Carter Aristocrat, and on next turn you play Lingering Souls. And you already have a 5/5 elemental then. If you sacrifice it, then you have like a small bonus in the one protection from this one. So this is already insane. Yeah, so that's why we have sack outlets. That's why you have creatures that we can sack in case we don't draw a Voice of Resurgence. The late addition is Skirzak High Priest. I didn't have it before, but some black advised on Twitter a lot. The initial deck I took was the Rip from Batutinia's list. He won a premier event with. He had most of Obsidat. He had a playset of Young Wolves, I believe. Yeah, that's what I praised this Kizdak High Priest with. So you have another thing to abuse your sack outlets, right? You've got 6 creatures that basically have Undying for 1. You have another 4 of them for 2. You've got Lingering Souls, which is 4 creatures for 1 card. And you've got 7 sack outlets. And Skirzak High Priest makes tokens whenever a creature dies, so you can also kill something with your Tragic Slip. You can tap this and tap 2 untapped creatures you control, and then you put up 5/5 black demon creature token of flying onto the battlefield. So let's say you go turn 1 Dem Traveler, Doomed Travelers, sorry. Turn 2 skills like High Priest and turn 3 Carter Aristocrat. You sacrifice to Doomed Traveler after attack, for example, and then you make a demon already, because it's gonna make an untapped token, which, and its summoning sickness doesn't really others. So yeah, that's another way to abuse the sack outlets. There's also soaring because you're playing some tokens, you're playing some creatures with undying, so soaring fits well into this deck. So that's like all the assumption I have about this deck. I played about 20 matches with it, and I'm pretty sure that the current meta and standard is not really shaped up a lot. I don't know. I'm not sure, especially about the sideboard. If this is the sideboard that you should play, I'm fairly sure about the main deck. Um, I don't think you should cut more one drops, because then you're very good matchup with aggressive decks. The mono red and red green decks is gonna be much worse. So you probably shouldn't cut those. The Sorings are pretty insane. You can just like dominate the game against control with him, or just give your like 4 or 5 guys +1/+1 for the rest of the game, which is also insane. So I don't think you should cut that. From the mana base, I've got all the dual lands. You can see I've got 2 Sun Petal Groves and 4 of Woodland, Overgrown, 2 Isolated Chapel, Goddess Shrine, Temple Garden. And I've got 2 Gavon Townships. This is again to abuse the token. Theme. I don't think that the Vault of Archangel is the card you want. I really think that in nearly every situation you prefer Gavoni Township, to be honest. Yeah, so that's about the main deck. Let's go to the sideboard. There's 3 unflinching colors. This is against mono red and red green. I think the matchup is pretty good, so I probably can cut one. There's 3 abrupt decay again against those decks. I'm not sure if there shouldn't be like -1 that and -1 that, and plus to Patrify to make your Jant matchup and Junk matchup a little better. So yeah, all the creature matchups are basically very good. Blitz is very good, Mono Red is very good, Red Green is very good. I think that this deck is actually, that this card is actually going to eliminate Blitz from the contention, but you still see a lot of them. There's 2 Ray of Revelations, which with Unflinching Courage should let you raise the another deck that tries to use the Voice of Resurgence, which is Banned Auras. Uh, I'm fairly sure that Banned Auras is not going to be as serious in popular decks, so I don't think that we're going to be needing Ray of Revelation in the near future, but yeah, it's here for now. The Ground Seal helps a bit against the blue-white-red decks, which I think are a good matchup anyway, because we have a ton of Undying stuff, we have Planeswalkers, we have Voice, which completely charms them. So my assumption is this matchup is actually very good. Yeah, but it helps a little against them, and it helps with Junk Reanimator matchup, which is a very bad matchup in my opinion. There's 3 Baron of Viscopa. So we want to go a little bigger against those blue-white-red and Esper decks. It's also insane against Mirror. If you only cast it in Mirror, the opponent is basically nearly surely dead. He really can't do much then. And yeah, and he's also very good against Jant. The only way for Jant to kill it is just to block it with Fractask or a Huntmaster, or to cast Museum Mortals, unless you will be able to just like go by his removal, all except Museum Mortars, his Olivias, his Vampire Nighthawks, stuff like that. So yeah, card is pretty insane. There's 4 for, sorry, Lord of Innocent. I'm not sure about him. I'm not sure if he should be here. He's supposedly good against the control matchups here. So there's still some question marks in this deck. The meta is fairly fresh. The deck is fairly fresh. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be very good and popular. So so probably people, sorry for that. People will start adapting. Then we will probably need to adapt to that as well. So yeah. That's about it, and see you around 1.